There was no other engine.
Den and Dart were too busy fixing James and expecting a new engine to come and maybe even replace James, as he was breaking down too often.
Bus services were full and therefore couldn't help fix anything whatsoever. They were too busy as the engines had to stop pulling all of the carriages as the building work needed to take place. I was having none of this. Honestly, my trains, I just go down to have my lunch and all of a sudden there's a big crash. I had no control over this railway and I can't afford another engine. You'd have to save an engine from the scrap, guys. Or I might have to sell an engine. The one who's being most troublesome. The one who's being really useless. Harold landed on Muffle Mountain. He was worried. He knew that he couldn't pull the entire train back to the rails, and he was a bit panicked. He didn't want to be sold. He didn't want to go away from the railway. The engines at the Sodor Fix Works were petrified. They didn't know what to do. They were worried. Maybe could one of them be sold? James panicked. He knew that he had been breaking down extremely often, and he did not want his twin brother coming back to the island. Coaches and brakevans panicked. They wondered if they could be auctioned off for a high bid. But the one who panicked the most was Jack. He didn't know. Would the building work stop? Would he lose his point forever? What would be the point of his life? Why would he have been hired? Would he be sold? Would he lose all of the precious clay and his friends, all to these new random people? Would he lose a point? The crash was devastating. Harold knew that he had to find a lost engine, but he didn't know how to. There was one legend that, well, in short, something that I've previously made. I don't know. Getting into personal stuff now. Harold knew that an engine hid in Muffle Mountain, knowing that he was not liked. He looked behind and he turned out of pure curiosity. He landed by the rails and found that there was a brand new engine. Oh, right here it is, chap. He was very happy.
Well, if you were only to find me now, it's been about 5 days, and you've left me with my driver and fireman to starve. Why? Complained Stephen. He was angry, he was ravishing, he was horrid.
Harold filled Stephen with coal and water, and Stephen was ready to roll. He was very happy and he was ready. He knew that his point was to be able to pull out the engine. They didn't call him the Rocket for no reason. He was soon coupled up using the pole method, but he didn't know, would he be able to pull this? He was a very old engine. He was an antique, in fact. He began to pull. He couldn't. He began to see if he could push. And the crash worsened slowly. Stephen did not know what he had done. He thought it was time to run away, but he didn't know again. By this time I was a bit curious. I got out to Stephen and I examined him. It's been a while since I've seen him actually. He seemed to have disappeared after 5 days when I last put him in one of my shots. I checked the wheel axle and he looked okay. I checked his tender. He looked okay there. But I did remember that Stephen was quite an old engine. He's still freewheels okay, but he might not be in the best condition. I started to think maybe I might need another engine to be able to pull the train. But I need the money to do this. I need the money. So I asked Stephen very politely. Stephen, is it okay if I auction you off to a home that will make you happier, that will be more comfortable, and that will have more money to preserve you?
Okay then. Okay,
replied Stephen. Yep, the auction is on.